Pecco Bagnaia, our most recent winner here in Portimao. Last time out in Austin, he launched a stunning fight back from last, 24th to 6. It lights out, here we go then, MotoGP underway in Portimao, lightning start for Duranto away well from the second row fifth. Zarco regrouped, but he's in second place, stunning start for...
It was the first of the Repsol Hondas there, just on the outside of one of the KTMs. Marquez picked up a couple of spots back into...
...has led a MotoGP race since 2020. As the reigning world champion last year, he didn't lead a safe. Miller starting to pick his way through early onto the podium places.
Unbelievable first lap already. Marquez.
He's not really famous for getting his elbows too sharp, is he? Early on here, Alex Rins, he made such a start. The dream first lap so far then for Alex Rins. Pecco Bagnaia up into...
No real progress yet for Pecco Bagnaia. He's in 21st. I'd imagine easing his way in to this. Crucially, Fabio Quartararo has also got the first lap he's wanted. He's not got anyone in his way. As Zarco...
Carly's Johan Zarco initially got not a bad launch off the line, then it seemed to bog down. As Alex has been for the Suzuki man, it's been a sensational first lap for Suzuki in general. Over the line, 23rd to 10th. Stunning job.
Aleix has gone backwards. Brad Binder is down in 13th. Aleix Espargaro back through now on Oliveira. And Marco
Bagnaia came over the line in 21st place. He lost nearly 5 seconds on that first on Jack Miller directly ahead of him. Now that at the moment, of course, there's a long way to go. For the first time since the back end of 2020, he's in prime position here.
Marquez is expecting from the 8 times world champion. We're expecting him to be aggressive and fight his way through. If anything, he's going back.
It's not been the aggressive charge we expected from Marc Marquez. That has come from his compatriot now at the poleman Johan Zarco. Jack Miller was our cameraman for that view, and it was the turn number 14. Nicely done then. Zarco having recovered from that sluggish start from pole.
For Marc Marquez to go through as well. I can't wait to see Alex Rins' first lap again. That must have been still trying to regroup from that move on Zarco a moment ago. Marquez stays behind in fourth. There's Rins now comes past. Oh, aggressive early on.
Well, Marc Marquez made a mockery of the fact it's hard to overtake in Kota, and Alex Rins the way he's charging through the pack. Stunning stuff this. Now then, the battle between Miller and Alex Marquez. So those two know each other very well around this 4.5 kilometre. Two world champions here, isn't it? Mir and Quartararo battling it out for the win here in Portugal.
Yeah, this is lap of the race on lap 2 at 140.091. He was able to lap in the 140. What Fabio Quartararo needed from the early laps of this Grand Prix. Just one rider ahead of him, and the problems he's had previously have been stuck behind Ducatis. This is just what Quartararo is expecting. Or hold back to Zarco in third.
Quick check on Pecco Bagnaia, making no forward progress whatsoever, really struggling with that first place. Now then, it will be Mir that leads Quartararo over the line to start lap number 4. They're moving on the Yamaha. What about the top speed of the Yamaha? Through into the lead, then goes Fabio Quartararo.
There was the Johan Zarco was faster than the leader last time around. The leader, of course, over the line was trying. Marquez with him. Aleix Espargaro still in 6th ahead of the home favourite Miguel Oliveira, and Alex Rins is still trying to...
He's been here before in Portimao. He's done it, got the T-shirt and 25 points in his pocket here. Once he gets out in front, and he's not going to worry about front tyre pressure, front tyre temperature, nor 6 bike lengths on Joan Mir as they drop down through the breathtaking turn 9 on this lap.
And Johan Zarco not making great progress necessarily on this lap. He's still holding a pretty good riders who we should look for further down the field. And Nea Bastianini, he's still in 12th, he's just behind. He's still in 21st, he's just gone past Remy Gardner.
One rider who did have a shot 3 right down in 16th, so early on, Batseki's lost 10 place. Top 6 contention at any stage so far in 2022. Fabio Quartararo's got 4.57. He passed Mir on that last lap and immediately gapped him by 0.6 of a second. Alex Rins has got stunning pace at the moment. He's clawed his way back up into 8th now, Rins.
Yeah, back ahead to make any great progress from that poor first lap. He got squeezed a little bit into turn 1, did Marc Marquez a couple of laps. Here's Johan Zarco then in 3rd position. If anything, he's closing in on Mir more than Mir. Zarco right on his case in the battle for 2nd if this carries on.
Such a long way to go. Still 21 that these guys have had. Will there be some guys running into some endurability, some durability?
Yes, guys, the wind gusts are up. That's going to make it harder to be...
Chilly, pretty wet and windy, wet and wild throughout this Portimao Grand Prix.
Martin.
Oh, Jorge Martin's bad day continues. He crashed this morning in the warm-up. He had his rare mistake. Portimao has not been kind, has it, over the last 12 months for Jorge Martin. In F3 at turn 7, he's down and out and very frustrated, very angry.
Quartararo's lead now over 1 second. You can see it top left of your screen up to 1.2 seconds. Joan Mir 0.035, but that was still slower than Johan Zarco behind him. And Alex Rins continuing to the front, and Zarco closing in on the back of Joan Mir.
Let's not forget that's Jorge Martin's 3rd day to go, of course, in the World Championship. It's our longest season in history, 21 races. Look, 23rd he started. He was inside the top 10 by the end of lap 2. Espargaro directly ahead of him. I mean, we know how good Alex Rins is at saving that rear tyre. And this battle here, Marquez and Pol Espargaro exchanging overtakes. Yellow flags are back out in second.
Pol trying to come back at him there into turn 14, but Marc Marquez now finally starting to get
a big wheel spin on that medium rear tyre going through turn number 15. This has not been what as they go through the first corner. They're swapping the same paint, those two. The Repsol Honda boys having a right old contention. This is the battle for 9th place.
Yeah, difficult to see what those yellow, so maybe he's gone a little bit wide. A little bit wide there too for Pol Espargaro, but he can bring that back. Giannini got a front row seat of this battle of the Hondas. Marc Marquez is now looking to have another go into turn 8.
Aging with Marc Marquez. I thought Marquez would be long gone into the distance and fighting for the... We have a lot of data and information on this brand new Honda. And that's obviously handicap really hurting Marc Marquez at this stage. Here comes a dive bomb up the inside of Pol Espargaro into turn number 3. On Pol Espargaro into turn number 14. Elbows and knees dragging through that.
Out around the outside. This is turn 15 where Pol Espargaro had the crash in qualifying yesterday, which left Marc Marquez. He didn't get a good drive there out of the last corner, did he? And anything, he's under pressure now from Brad Binder, who's trying to have a look. Marc Marquez now starting to put a bit of distance finally between himself and his teammate.
Yeah, Marquez had to check out again. A 1:39.683 from him means he's up the inside of Alex Marquez into turn number 5. Alex Marquez says, well, you can have it back on the exit. That's the advantage. Aleix Espargaro right in the thick of it as well. Here he comes up the inside again now. Alex.
The fastest rider of this group as Aleix Espargaro looks to get up the inside into turn 8. This is all going to open the door. His task will be Aleix Espargaro, and that will put him up into the top 6.
This is like the last lap. The side of Aleix Espargaro into turn number 13. Has he got that move done? I'm not sure he has now for 5th place. The problem is, while they're carving each other up like they are, this is just giving Jack Miller to be streaking away while this quartet engage in such a ferocious battle.
Leads this quartet down the home straight. Pecco Bagnaia, of course, started alongside Alex Rins on the
Quinn is going very much the way of the reigning world champion Fabio Quartararo. Again, he found 39s. Joan Mir directly behind him in second, his best lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:4, and it's not a French problem for Mir to solve ahead of him. He's got one coming behind him, free, the Mir straight ahead of him.
Just looking at Marc Marquez's pace with some clear track ahead of 1:7 for Marc Marquez. Not as fast as the riders up ahead of him, with the exception of keep an eye on Alex Rins' progress, so he could briefly there on the left-hand side of your screen. He's still trailing Aleix from Joan Zarco.
We had to wait an awful long time, the start of 2021, for his to out, because Zarco zooming in, trying to hone in now on Joan Mir. We're on board with the thing would have the better corner speed at this part of the course, but now as Zarco winds out on the brakes down the hill into turn 1, although they both swapped personal best laps of the Grand Prix, maxed by Mir, the quickest man on circuit right now is the man in 3rd place, the pole.
Where for the likes of Maverick Vinales, he didn't make good ground early on. He's still back in 4th. A lot of the riders ahead of him. Bagnaia starting to make steady progress as he tries to salvage terms with Fabio Quartararo. Has Quartararo still got plenty of tyre left at the end of the Grand Prix? We're not going to find it.
Valentino Rossi will be pretty frustrated at the moment because Luca Marini's outside the points. And for surely now the former MotoGP World Championship leader, that just compacts at turn number 5, and that's the first mistake we've seen in a Grand Prix so far this year. 5th place, the live championship. Quartararo will be back at the top of the summit.
By the time he arrived, he's in between 7 and 8. The Bastianini lost control. Fabio Quartararo, though, has faster than Mir and Zarco behind him. Mir and Zarco up their pace. Quartararo said, I've got to respond.
It was always crucial that he made the start so he didn't get mired in the middle of the pack. He was able to get him Suzuki of Joan Mir, and since that moment, well, he's never looked back. It's been here right now, 2.5 seconds clear of Joan Mir in 2nd place, who's still doing a 4th place. He's 1.7 seconds behind Zarco, but in turn, 1.7 seconds.
A good half second faster than Miller last time around. Aleix Espargaro found his personal best lap of the Grand Prix. Aleix Espargaro found a 1:39.670, so Aleix Espargaro now starting to close in on
Fabio Quartararo, stunning pace on lap 10, a fastest lap of the Grand Prix in sector 3. And the yellow flags are out now. They're in sectors 3 and 4, so the season continues as well. His weekend started in horrible fashion. A big... They're under pressure, aren't they, Nakagami and Alex Marquez, with all kinds of rumours around about LCR looking to Lucio Cecchinello's squad. He's been able to remount here as Taka Nakagami, but...
Then what happened to him? This is into turn 13. He's just behind Brad Binder. He makes contact, I think, with the rear wheel.
Part of that left wing as well, which is going to make that bike pretty unstable if he does manage. Well, he has rejoined the side of that motorcycle. Little bits for stability, downforce, and when you don't have both of them. Then for 2nd place, it's still in the hands of Joan Mir. Joan Zarco got Rossi as yet. Mir doing a great job of defending this 2nd place. A 2nd place full got, though. 13 and a bit laps remaining here in Portimao. A lot of these guys have done on slick tyres at any stage throughout this weekend. And look over in the distance that they stay when we get a full dry Grand Prix.
Miller has picked the pace up on that last lap around, back into the 1:39s. He's still lost a 10th to Oliveira, who's in a relatively lonely 7th at the moment. Marc Marquez is trying to close the gap in seconds behind his younger sibling.
Really good job this by Pecco Bagnaia. You've got to give him so much credit on Friday and yesterday. That 2nd crash yesterday in qualifying 1, the high side on that nasty slap down on his head and his right shoulder. So any kind of points that Bagnaia... And now Bastianini, it's been his first big blunder in the Grand GP World Championship. We're looking back at him now from Marc Marquez into turn number 8. Simon.
Just to let you know, he got a bit hot wide, leaning on the curbs in the front wing.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. That's poor luck for a stronger next time out in Jerez in just 7 days' time. At least he hasn't got too long to dwell. Stream to attack Joan Mir down the hill into turn 1. You can see how hard Mir is taking around underneath him down the hill into turn number 1. But at the moment, the Mir resistance, credit to the Aussie. He's just fired in a 1:39.671. His personal best just over a second. In fact, now in sector 1, Miller has found another 2/10. It's down to just 8.
This rider on track last time around as well. He was even quicker than Fabio Quartararo, who I can't remember. Fabio plough away in the 1:39s, just proving what we've always thought about Fabio Quartararo. Give him empty tire. Whether Joan Zarco is comfortable here just sitting behind Joan Mir, I guess we'll soon get our answer.
Yeah, this is going to be a relatively relaxing cruise here for Fabio Quartararo in Portugal. Champion. He's kept his chin up, he's kept his motivation high despite some disappointment, crippled by the lack of top speed on that Yamaha in Losail. A great ride on the brakes down the hill into turn 1. Quartararo, the bitter disappointments of 8th in Argentina. 8 for tracks that will suit the Yamaha. Portimao and Jerez definitely fall into that category. Out of yourself and the motorcycle, there's nothing else you can do. Fabio.
Then that looks like it's very, very difficult for Marc Marquez to get it stopped into turn 1. Does he go a little bit wide? A comfortable ride for Marc Marquez so far. He is gently closing in on the back of his with 10 laps of his 25 laps to go. Is to be exactly where he started in 9th position.
He's been superb over these last 5 or 6 laps to get himself right back in the hunt all on the bright blue Suzuki of Joan Mir. Mir at the moment is near about Fabio Quartararo. He's got big problems coming from behind. Zarco. Again, this is the speed here, and now then, will Zarco be close enough with a bit of slip? Wasn't a bit of wheelie there, but didn't really have to work that hard for that move. He just powers the Ducati on by in hot though. He's got to do it all over again now, and this has dragged Jack Miller right into contention for second.
Fastest riders on track are the 2 behind this trio, Aleix Espargaro and Alex Rins. You can see them for Aleix Espargaro for the 2nd consecutive lap. He was half a second quicker than this battle for
rider of the day yet again, isn't he? Started what, 7th to 3rd in Argentina, 23rd into the top 6 here this weekend. We were waxing lyrical and talking about in Kota. Well, this has been just as good from Alex Rins. It's been sensational stuff.
We've seen what Joan Zarco can do, or what he can try to do behind Joan Mir. Now that he's caught this pack, of course, it was the battling amongst them at turn 1 in Zarco's mistake. There was a lap, gentle progress on this lap, but it's still 1.1 seconds as it stands at the moment. As Zarco, Mir doing his level best on the brakes. Zarco, though, this time would appear to have got it stopped. Can he now pull?
Pressed out of the final corner, maybe with that the extra wings, the better aerodynamics, the out 15, and that has allowed Zarco to slip on through. This time around, it's a successful mission over the last 5 or 6 laps, so it could get worse here for Joan Mir. This will be pretty deflating. 2nd place on the grid. We certainly expected Mir to be fighting for the win here today. Portimao.
Huge credit has to go to Pecco Bagnaia in this Grand Prix. He just fired in a 1/3 this lap of the Grand Prix early on from Fabio Quartararo. Bagnaia is as fast as anybody out on track of the reach yet for Bagnaia, which, given his problems, not just on the grid but also physically, will be some result.
Where Pecco Bagnaia is right now, if he can salvage a top 10, that would be a dream result after a really... As Lynn Jarvis looks on, he knows these are the kind of performances that Fabio Quartararo, totally different plane today as the factory Yamaha man. This is the fight we all want to see. Joan Zarco, the pole man, in 2nd place. Can he make it a French 1-2 here? Still right in podium battle. Likewise Miller and Aleix Espargaro starting to come real nurse. Its ties late on. Aleix Espargaro as well. Smooth riding style. Do not discount.
Alex Rins a little bit in the battle for 5th position. Rins back in the 140s last time around at 140 points. A lot of that ground was made up on the opening lap of this Grand Prix, but he must have taken an awful lot out of. Also be heartened by the fact that Joan Mir hasn't been dropped by Joan Zarco, but the pace amongst this group is pretty with Jack Miller. Yellow flags though out now in sector 3. Brad Binder.
Oh, Brad Binder, that's a rare mistake from Brad Binder then, because he was on a that great run has come to a disappointing end here in Portimao. We're on board then with Joan in Portimao, is he? It's a game of chess on the brakes now into the first corner. Oh! No! Joan Mir on the outside with nowhere to go. Joan Mir gets collected. Now check on Jack Miller, but yeah, thumbs up now, just making sure that he's okay. But unfortunately, the innocent victim was Mir on the outside.
There's history between these two, isn't there? And Mir, absolutely nowhere to go. It was already a deflating afternoon for Joan Mir, who...
You can see how hard Mir was braking that rear tyre, jumping off the ground in the hard alongside Mir in the braking zone for turn 1. But as he turned in, squeezing that front brake, as Lewis said, these two do have a bit of a checkered history. A couple of controversial moments between the rest, do they? Jack Miller will know that was his mistake. He'll be full of remorse for taking out second place, as he was. He avoided all...
Here it is then, the battle for... And of course, he has taken advantage. He has been a little bit fortunate, of course, with the instance ahead of him. Yellow's out in sectors 4 and 1, so one wonders whether someone's down at the final corner.
a sigh of relief as well.
Fabio Di
Giannantonio. He says he's retired. Using the World Championship lead after his early crash, going into turn number 8, so it's a mechanical that's for free of Portugal. Round 5 of this year's World Championship, and it's number 5 at the moment. And if Aleix Espargaro, of course, takes the lead, or takes second here rather, I think he'll actually take the lead.
They accrued some concession points with that victory in Argentina. They'll be heading very, very close to the limit. But Aleix Espargaro, how bold will he be? He's got a comfortable gap back to Alex Rins behind this battle. So Aleix Espargaro only has eyes ahead, but can he find a way past this Ducati?
Shocking, very abysmal, but by my reckoning, I think Aleix Espargaro, if he does take Zarco, he might lead horrendous at Mass. Not my strong point at all. Anyway, Zarco through turn to Aleix Espargaro. Aleix Espargaro, I just wonder whether he might just think it's not worth the championship. Marc Marquez getting the better of the brotherly battle with Alex Marquez.
Yeah, let's see if Alex has a go back at him then. They're coming on to the home straight now. You can see just behind them, he's sitting in 9th position. Alex looks like he's got much better drive out of the last corner.
Yeah, again, really difficult to get that rear tyre hooked up, and he's certainly getting it hard to stop that rep. What a heroic ride this has been from the Italian, keeping the pressure on Pol Espargaro in that back 5, attacking turn 6, the runaway race leader here. It's the first win of the season, an absolute masterclass from Quartararo, classy performance by him. Johan's time, the pole man, the pole winning sequence will be broken here in Portimao. Zarco won't care that the season so far.
Yeah, Aleix Espargaro looks too far behind now to really make on in the battle of brother. This one will go right to the flag. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th could still change.
Yeah, Pecco Bagnaia was going for it, and he's just maybe going to run Pol Espargaro a little bit wide. Fabio Quartararo, it has been...
Hai guys, come back to my channel Joe Hagan. Kita akan bermain game yang baru lagi, yaitu Sky Roller. Bentar, jadi saya akan masuk dulu ke aplikasinya. Nah, jadi aplikasinya seperti ini. Orang main sepatu roda, yaitu Sky Roller. Kita coba langsung ya. Kita tambah suara dulu. Oke, kita mulai. Itu jatuh guys, terlalu lebar dia membuka kakinya. Kita coba lagi, mulai ya. Jatuh guys, gagal lagi guys. Ya Allah, malah bersin. Coba lagi ya. Ayo, berhasil. Kita coba sekali lagi. Nah, ini susah nih. Berhasil lagi. Gampang guys, mudah ini gamenya.